all of you. Good afternoon Shivanjan, good afternoon Jeet, good afternoon Raj, and good afternoon Shayantan. I hope you are all fine and in good health. So now let me discuss the topic with you all. I will be discussing with you all sentences. Okay, so it will be visible shortly in front of you. I know it is a bit darkened right now, but just wait, have some patience. Let me share the content. Yes, so I guess it is visible to all of you. Just hold on, it will be clearly visible. Yes, can you all see the screen? It is visible to all of you. Please confirm me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So a short discussion on sentence I will be doing because we still have some time left, right? So what is actually a sentence? We have to know this. First of all, you should know our sentence refers to a set of arranged words that conveys a complete sense. Okay. Now examples of sentences. If I say he's a good guy, please do it. Is he a good guy? What a nice morning. All these are sentences. Okay, all these are examples of sentences. Some of them might be exclamatory sentence, some of them might be interrogative sentence, but dear students, all these are examples of sentences. Okay, now remember one thing, a group of words that makes a complete sense is ultimately called a sentence. Okay, a group of words that makes a complete sense is called a sentence. Now type of sentence, remember this thing you have to know, this thing is for your knowledge. Otherwise, how will you do the MCQ type questions and answers? Now, based on function, based on structure. Based on function, four important categories: declarative sentence, imperative sentence, interrogative sentence, and exclamatory sentence. Okay. Now, based on structure, again 4 categories: simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, and finally compound complex sentence. So these are the 2 important divisions related with sentences. Now let me discuss those sentences that are based on function. I have already told you the sentences that are based on function, they are declarative, imperative, interrogative, and exclamatory, isn't it? Now let me move on. What is declarative sentence? Now suppose this declarative sentence refers to a feeling or opinion, or sometimes it defines things, it makes a statement. Okay, declarative means obviously it is making a declaration. Okay, and remember one thing, tense previously I did with all of you. So a declarative sentence can include any tense. It can include present tense, it can include past tense, it can include future tense also. Okay, example of declarative sentence: I want to be a good singer. Okay, it is actually a positive statement. It is a declarative statement also. I am not very happy today. This is not a positive declaration. It is a negative declarative sentence. Whereas the previous one, that is I want to be a good singer, that is a positive declarative sentence. Okay. Imperative sentence. I hope you all know about imperative sentence. Normally when we make a request, sometimes we give order to others. Okay, sometimes we give instructions to others, sometimes we give advice to others. So making a request, giving order, okay, instructions or advice, all these things comes under the category of imperative sentence. Okay, now suppose if I say go to the nearest bank and make that deposit, what exactly I am doing? I am giving an instruction, isn't it? If I say get your hands up now, okay, this is a command. Remember? Okay. Now interrogative. Interrogative, obviously what exactly is at the end of an interrogative sentence? Dear students, I guess you all know question mark is there at the end of an interrogative sentence, isn't it? See, it is written. Interrogative sentence refers to a type of sentence that asks only questions. Remember one thing. Interrogate. We say no. Interrogate. The police had interrogated the criminals. Okay, interrogate means to ask only questions. And remember, interrogative sentence always ends with an interrogative sign or interrogation sign, and that is the question mark sign. Example, when are you going to visit Taj Mahal? Do you prefer to go to watch a movie or shopping? See, question mark sign is there, again question mark sign is there. Remember, the core concept of interrogative sentence is that it asks questions. Okay, now exclamatory sentence. See, we have many human emotions like wonder, joy, sorrow, happiness, anger. All these things collectively falls under the category of exclamatory sentences. Am I clear to all of you? Am I clear? Jeet, Shivanjan, Raj, am I clear
Yes,
to
sir.
all of
Yes,
you?
sir.
Okay, exclamatory sentence means suppose you own a cricket match. Okay, suppose your board exam results is outstanding. So what emotion you will express? You will express the emotions of happiness, feelings, emotion, happiness, anger. Okay, all you are very frustrated because you are not getting a proper net connection. Okay, so at that time, what sort of expression will be on your face? Happiness? No, never. It will be anger, it will be frustration. So all these typical human emotions that we talk about, all these things falls under the category of exclamatory sentences. And remember, I already told you, just like an interrogative sentence, it ends with a question mark. Okay, here it ends with an exclamation mark. Okay, I hope you all can see it. Now, some examples. Happy New Year, how sweet, he is such a wonderful man, wonderful writer, I cannot believe she would do that. All these are example of exclamatory sentences. Okay, so obviously I discussed about the sentences based on function. Now I will be saying few lines related with sentences based on structure. Okay, so let me just scroll a bit. Yes, classification of sentences based on structure. I already told you four types based on structure: simple, compound, complex, and finally complex compound. Okay, compound complex. Okay, what is simple sentence? Now simple sentence will have one clause and obviously which remains independent. It cannot have any other clause under any circumstances. The sentence must have a complete thought comprising of a subject. It should be comprehensive. It should have a complete thought. It should include only one clause and which will remain independent every time. It cannot have any other clause under any circumstances. Remember, these are the criteria that simple sentence follows. Okay, I am now scrolling a bit. Example: I always wanted to become a cricketer. Can I have some water to drink, please? See here, if you check very logically, in the above two sentences, you will find that each sentence has only one clause, that is verb. Okay, only one clause is there. Okay, and see, each are expressing something very comprehensively. If you see the first example, I always wanted to become a cricketer. Okay, this is also an example. Can I have some water to drink, please? This is also another example of simple sentence. Okay, so let us move on with the part. Okay, yes, now compound sentence. Okay, compound sentence. Which sentences are referred as compound sentence? See, a compound sentence refers to a sentence that has at least two independent clauses with no dependent clauses. Dear students, I told you many a days before, independent clauses are principal clauses and dependent clauses are known as subordinate clauses. Okay, independent clauses because they can stand independently, they can express meaning independently. Dependent clauses, they have to depend on the principal clause in order to express itself properly. Okay, example: see, it was too hot outside but the chocolate did not melt. I wiggled the doorbell. Wiggled means I pressed the doorbell and the baby smiled. I always wanted to become a comedian and my sister wanted to become a writer. So you can understand this is the example of compound sentence. And remember, here and is the linker. As you can see here, and is being used. Okay, as you can see here, and has been used. It is a linker. Okay, see, two independent clauses. It is important to note that we cannot form a compound sentence using two sentences with completely unrelated ideas. Remember, compound sentences can't be formed if the two sentences are disconnected. Okay, if the two sentences are totally disconnected from one another, if the two sentences consisted of unrelated ideas, we can't form compound sentence at all. Okay, thus second last, complex sentence. Remember, a complex sentence actually should have one independent clause and one or more than one subordinate clause or dependent clause. Example you see, whenever we come to this restaurant, we eat burgers and pizza. And another example you see, she will be able to sing a melodious song if she keeps practicing. Now see, in the two examples, look at the first example. Whenever we come to this restaurant, we eat burgers and pizza. In the first example, the dependent clause is used first, while in the second example, the independent clause is put first. See, whenever we come to this restaurant, this is actually the subordinate clause or the dependent clause. Whereas we eat burgers and pizza, this is the principal clause because it can stand by itself. As I told you, subordinate clause is known as dependent clause because it depends always on the principal clause to express itself properly. Okay, so here in this first example, if you check very clearly and minutely, you will find that this is actually, we can say, subordinate clause. Okay, and this is the principal clause because see, it can stand by itself and obviously we can take out a meaning out of it. If I say we eat burgers and pizza, obviously we are getting a meaning out of it. But whenever we come to this restaurant, it depends, it needs to depend on the principal clause. Similarly, in the second example here, we find that the principal clause or the independent clause is written at the very beginning, followed by the subordinate clause. See, she will be able to sing a melodious song if she keeps practicing. See, here it is written. In the second example, the independent clause is put first. Independent clause, remember, dear students, it is known as principal clause also. It is important to note that we usually place a comma after it when we first use the dependent clause. Besides, when we first use the independent clause, we generally use subordinate conjunction to link clauses. Okay, see, here also we are using subordinate conjunctions also. This is something very, very important. Principal clause, subordinate clause, these things you have to know. Now the last one is the compound complex sentence. This is normally not used so much. Remember, as the name suggests, it defined as a sentence created by joining both the compound as well as complex sentence. Because see, the name is like this, compound complex sentence. So as the name suggests, you can easily understand that a sentence is formed or joined by writing both compound and complex sentence or using both compound and complex sentence together. Okay, and remember this type of sentences, that is I am talking about compound complex sentences, they are actually joined using coordinating conjunction. Okay, and remember another important thing, this type of sentence must have two independent clauses and one or more than one dependent or subordinate clauses. Remember, this type of sentences, that means I am talking about compound complex sentence, it should have two independent clauses, okay, and one or more than one dependent clauses. Okay, very, very important. Now, example you see, I know that you always try to become a good singer, but I always try to become a cricketer. Okay, see, in this example, a dependent clause is followed by a complex connector, as you can see. Okay, and additionally, two independent clauses join it using compound conjunction between them. So a compound conjunction is used between them. This is the compound conjunction, but it is important to follow the rules of both the complex and compound sentences when making compound complex sentences. So we have to, dear students, we have to follow the rules of compound as well as complex sentences in order to verify, in order to understand, in order to identify compound complex sentence in total. Okay, now the important thing before I close up, remember, or before I wind up, see, these are some tips that you should know while you have to compose a sentence. First of all, when relying a piece of information or answering a question, we must use a declarative sentence. Okay, when we are relaying a piece of information, answering a question, it is better we should use declarative sentence. Okay, when we are asking a question, interrogative sentence should be used. When we are telling someone what to do, then obviously imperative sentence should be used. When it is related with emotion, okay, we can better express it using an imperative sentence, but we can use exclamatory sentence also in this case. And remember, we can change the function and form of the sentence accordingly, especially when there is a change in intonation. Obviously, the form and function of the sentence can be changed when there is a change in the intonation, in the voice part, in the modulation, in the intonation. When there is a change, we can change the function and the form of the sentence. Okay, so that is it. So this is this material I will be uploading right now, and in the Google Classroom it has already been uploaded. In the WhatsApp I will be sharing it. And thank you everyone for doing the class. And most importantly, one material on determinants I have also given. Please kindly go through it. And Google form, I have given 15 questions. 10 questions I have given MCQs from determinants, and 5 questions MCQ I have given from sentence. So please solve that one. Okay, and thank you everyone. And tomorrow there will be ALS. So the next lot of students should come tomorrow. Okay, thank you everyone. Have a nice day everyone. Thank you.